Hello, and welcome to Moscato and Tea. This is the show for all things beauty, business, and community with your hosts, Inez and Chiquita, keeping it raw, real, and unfiltered.
Look at you. Hello.
Oh, hey, girl. Hey. I know.
Welcome.
Sorry. Welcome.
Hot Topics, round 3.
Round 3. Okay.
Already 2019, we're on another Hot Topics episode.
Girl.
What is happening?
The world is
a mess. Ooh, look at that.
I love it.
Popping bottles with Moscato and Tea. Yes.
Right.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's get into
it. The attack on Just to Sell It. What is going on? Because a friend told me about it. Of course, I saw it on social media, but I don't know all the exact details.
Sorry, as I chomp on a pineapple.
Yes.
Getting my antioxidants in for the day.
Pineapple's good for you.
Yeah, it's good. Digestive system and everything.
For all the good stuff.
So anyways, it's actually, I'm not surprised because it's happened before. I just think it was more that it was an actor in the limelight who is very well known. I think what happened was, from what I understand and what I've been following up on is that there was a letter sent to Fox.
Okay.
Stating that somebody was stalking him and was going to attack him. They wrote a letter. They cut out pieces from a magazine.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, and sent it to Fox Studios. And from what I've been upon was that Fox offered Jesse some security.
Okay.
But he
declined
because it's kind of one of those things. I'm not gonna live in fear and be whatever.
Of course.
So all of this happened. So now it's just a matter of fact of trying to figure out. Here's a couple of things that I have a problem with. One, I don't think the police and FBI are moving fast enough. First of all, there was a letter that was sent out that was already. FBI should have been on that from get-go.
Of course.
Okay? I don't know what the problem is, but we all know what the problem is, but there's a problem. Okay? That was number one.
Question is, if this was Tom Cruise, would they have been?
Oh, girl, bye. There would have been absolutely no way.
That's the question.
They would have ever been able to get close to him, done anything. It would have been nabbed up, boom, boom, boom. So that's what I say. That's just my, and they say there is some video surveillance of the person who might have been around.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. So hopefully we could get this solved and quickly. And I think it's important. It's imperative. I mean, it is life. It is like I was going to say, like life importance that they do catch this person because they need to put out a message that it's not going to be tolerated.
Yeah.
The longer it goes not being prosecuted, the longer it goes. These people not being found, the more they're going to be like, hey, we can do whatever.
Exactly.
I mean, that was just like the catalyst. The same way when these young kids went to Washington and the Native Americans.
Yes.
And they're in their face and being disrespectful with their, that I'm not going to, the new white hood, because that's what it basically is.
I mean,
let's call it what it is. People are getting upset about it, but at the end of the day, if you're gonna sit there, but nowadays, here's the difference. Now we see your face.
Oh yeah.
Now you can't hide. Now you can't hide.
They don't want to hide.
No, absolutely.
They want to be seen.
Absolutely, which is better for, as like I say, it's better to know who your enemy is than not to know who your enemy is, right? It's
true.
like, if I know you're my enemy and we're close, at least I know how to defend and protect myself as you as my enemy. But if a lot of times you don't even know who your enemy is and you're sitting right next to them because they got the white hood. Now they're just wearing a red hat. Yeah. So this is why I just said, this is why people were so upset with Kanye and wearing the damn hat, because it's not about making America great again. That is not, because America is already great. We don't need to make it any greater than it already is. There's opportunity. There's all kinds of things. There's other countries that have it way worse than we do. This is about racism. This is about dividing a country. I mean, it's to the point now, what happens if this doesn't happen? Are we going to have a race war? Are we? This is where we're going.
Yeah.
Are we going to have civil war? We're going to have race wars. What are we doing?
I know.
Like what's happening here now? Now people already knew, but now that it's hitting celebrities and mainstream,
it's really,
now it's kind of like, well, now what?
Yeah, but that's sad part also that it takes something like this to happen to really get people.
I mean, it's been happening. It's been happening
to just normal regular people. But now that celebrity, it's like people really want to get involved, and it's like it shouldn't take that. It should never happen in the first place.
So, just sending out love and prayers for him and his family, and may justice come to those who, because this is 2019, boo. Like we were saying, don't let the past. I think there's also a different mentality. I think people still think that they can act this way, and there is not going to be a retaliation like it was back in the day.
That's
you
true.
hide, you scared, you run. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
So. Hopefully the next time we have some better news than saying they caught the perpetrators.
Let's hope so.
And let's take this seriously. That's what bothers me, is that there was a letter. It was already pre-known.
Yeah,
why wasn't FBI? Why weren't
already watching his area and stuff like that?
Why weren't we paying attention and helping this man out?
No, that's
like
true.
you said, if it were Tom Cruise or somebody else, we might not be having. It would be a totally different conversation we'd be having. They caught the perpetrator, this and that. So
exactly, it would have never gotten that far escalated.
Yeah.
Kind of go to a different route, different area. I know. The presidential election, people that are running, it's a lot of people, and it's still early. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Kamala Harris is running, Bernie Sanders, now Cory Booker. It's just so many people. It's just like, oh my God. I don't know. I have no idea who I want to vote for. I'm looking at everybody, researching everybody.
I was going to say that the main key is to research the candidate and what are their policies.
Yes.
And what have they voted on and against before? Like, what are they thinking about and doing? With this number 45, I think everybody in their, mamas think they can just run now and, do things and whatever. So we'll see what happens. I mean,
it's a lot. It's so crazy. So we'll see. But just in general, politics has just gotten even crazier, even uglier. And it's like people.
I mean, this whole thing.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. And I was going to say in this whole thing, I mean, we're talking about politics. Let's transition into the whole shutdown.
Oh, yes. Finally. It's done for like 3 weeks. Supposedly he's going to shut it down again.
There's a couple of things that, I've been researching and thinking about, and people have been kind of saying, which kind of makes sense. First of all, I don't know. Well, put it this way. It was just a modern day form of slavery. That's all that is. People were working for free. And talking about maybe they may or may not get their back pay. They may or may not get anything. They're forcing people.
Yeah.
People were actually told they had to go out and work.
Yeah.
So it was just a form of modern day slavery, which I hope people start opening up their eyes and realize that, they think, a government job is great. Depending who's ruling and what's not is what it is.
Yeah.
So how are you going to tell people that they have to go to work or they'll lose their job if they're not paying? Nobody was caring about if they could pay their bills or not.
Exactly.
Over a wall. This is not about a wall.
Yeah.
This is about control. And this is about showing power and what I can and cannot do.
Yeah. Supposedly he's going to do a national emergency if they don't agree to the money. Production phone calls right in the middle of a live. That's what happens.
That's what happened. That. And it's kind of interesting timing wise, when they're talking about flights being delayed and things and TSA not working and all of this stuff. Sick. Yeah, and all of it working. What's the biggest event coming in the United States coming up right now?
It's crazy.
What's our biggest event right now that people are talking about? Now all of a sudden nobody, you don't even know, do you?
No, I don't.
So why don't you just say so?
No, I don't know.
Hello, the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, that. Ain't nobody, my team ain't in it, so I really don't care.
But I'm just saying.
The commercials, that's what they're talking about.
It's just kind of convenient.
Oh, yeah.
How all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah, he wants to.
The things are open and, things and TSAs are back to work. When people are traveling, his people, money, going to the Super Bowl.
That's true.
And now. It's way to go.
Yeah, that's true.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a weird kind of convenient, whatever, here we go. Again, we'll see what happens in 3 weeks, but...
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
I mean...
It always comes back to money.
Of course, money rules the world. But that's why we're saying, I've been doing some listening and some just kind of hearing out. And this is the thing we were just talking about, voting and population. Like at the end of the day, the people with money are the ones that are controlling.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, I guess just recently he just announced the NRA is backing his 2020 campaign.
Oh, God.
But of course, we already knew that.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Absolutely not. But here we go. Money. Yeah. It all comes down to money and who and what not. Now, let's see what else happens. But, I just think it was just 3 weeks of modern day slavery. People were actually, and here's the thing about it, because if he was so for the middle class, that's who he was hitting.
That's true. But then at the same time, it really was like when he had the team, the football team Clemens, at the White House, and he bought him hamburgers, fast food. Like,
girl,
really?
bye.
Like, seriously?
But that's to show you that a man who has no kind of conscience and doesn't give a shit or give a fuck about anybody but himself. And
he's proud of that too.
Yeah. And then, but here's the funny part. America's greatest foods. Do you realize that half of that shit you ordered was was invented by immigrants that came into this country? I'm just saying, it's kind of like
out there.
It's just kind of like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
I know.
And then how disrespectful and how, again, the man doesn't care about anybody but himself.
Yeah.
And as long as and I don't even think, let me tell you, if he had to sell his son,
he would.
To save himself, he sure the hell would.
He would. Oh, yeah. All these convention. What's the name? Roger Stone. He got arrested. Like, all these people are getting arrested around him. And it's just like.
And he's just like, I think he's in La La Land, like in denial.
I was just going to say that.
La La Land in denial, like, well, I'm untouchable now.
Yeah.
There's nothing. As the domino effects, it just keeps going and going and going. And he's like, and then the minute somebody gets, it's just, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And, it's the Democrats. I was the Democrat.
Ain't got nothing to do with it.
I mean, like, this is what you did.
Yeah.
So.
He's literally in his own little world of make believe, I guess. But it is what it is. But, we just got to pray and hope that things get better for everybody and, get back to work and just.
Absolutely. I mean,
because some people aren't even able to get their medications.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's just what is wrong with you?
Yeah, it's just, again, a modern day slavery where they basically is like, you're going to do what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and take away your money, take away your pay, but you're going to go to work.
Yeah.
And it's 2019.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And I hope, and I think it made a lot of people think about, well, at the end of the day, nobody cares about you, but nobody cares.
Yeah.
You're going to have to, and the way I look at it, if people aren't getting paid, then the government shouldn't gotten paid either.
That's true. That's what I'm saying.
Anybody in government,
they should not be.
Everybody should have been on a damn shutdown.
Exactly.
You don't we don't get paid. You don't get paid because at the end of the day,
they work for us.
Thank you. We're the ones paying you.
Like, how is that even possible?
That you could just sit there, but you get a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Like, when you really think about that, it's like, what the hell?
That's to show you that there is no democracy. That people in power are the ones that are telling us what we can and cannot do.
Yeah.
Shut down shit and not, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Seriously, it's insane. But, we just got to push forward and just hopefully people with some sense, actually start doing the real work and get things done. Just because right now it's just insane with what's happening and stuff. But let's try and get into some entertainment news. What is happening
entertainment-wise?
Yes, entertainment-wise.
Excuse me. So, have you heard what's been trending is the conversation that Nick Cannon had with Riza Islam.
Oh.
On Nick Cannon's talk, radio talk or show, like I think Cannon Speaks, I believe that's what it is. And it was talking about obviously Riza Islam is from the Nation of Islam, and was talking to Nick about Nick was asking, was talking about black women and so forth, and Nick was kind of like they were talking about white women and why, men of color, black men shouldn't date white women and why, the black woman needs to be loved and cared for first. We're the last to get married, the first to get divorced. There's all kinds of things that happen to the, and, we're the ones that are beat down, but we're always holding everybody up.
Okay.
And then his, some of his comments were kind of like, well, is like, if I want a white girl, then you're talking about how brothers, become famous and have money and decide that they want to date white women. Instead of, they're down with the black woman until they make it. And then once they make it, they leave the black woman for the white woman. And so Nick was talking about it's basically saying that, if he decides he wants to date white girls, he should. And love is love and this and that. And that now that he got money, it's like almost like a forbidden fruit. It was kind of more like if my grandfather couldn't have you, my great grandfather, my dad, then I can now that I have money. It was a really interesting conversation. But Rizza Islam broke it down really very like poetically and just basically told him, if you can't take care of a black woman, then you don't deserve any woman. Oh, because at the end of the day, these are the ones that are helping and holding up and the whole thing. So if you haven't seen the conversation, I highly recommend it. I think there's a 2-parter to it. And just listen. I understand that people think the Nation of Islam is very radical and there's things, but he made a lot of sense and some of the things that as black women talk about. That, we're the ones that hold up and do this the minute you get a little bit of money. And then he just said that he basically told him that brothers like that are selfish and like just basically selfish and all about themselves. Yeah. And he said, I'm going to be selfish. And that's what it is. And so he said, and he's like, that's all right, my brother. That's as long as you recognize it. Yeah. But it was a really big, it was on the Breakfast Club. They were talking about it. Okay. Charlamagne the God made some comments on it. Yeah. So, it quite interesting. Yeah. It's a good 20 minutes or 17 minutes. You can find it on YouTube, or you could go to Nick Cannon's Instagram page or Rizza Islam's Instagram page, and you can see it. But it is on YouTube. So I highly tell you, girl, you better watch it.
No, exactly. It's crazy. Well, with the Super Bowl coming up, since we were talking about it, what do you think of Maroon 5 and Travis Scott performing?
I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Here, again, this is not... People are looking at, like Super Bowl is the biggest platform. Yeah. It's the biggest of whatever. It's about putting it out. Mm-hmm. What does Maroon 5 know anything about injustice for people of color? Not a damn thing. So why would they care, or how does that affect them? Yeah. Travis Scott, that's a whole nother...
conversation.
We already know he's talking about he's going to perform and donate money.
Yeah, whatever. I think he had
because the backlash was just so strong that he had to do something. Yeah. Again, this is what I'm talking about, the unity and the all of it, the unity that we don't have unity. Mm-hmm. So this is where it kind of happens. And he's like, I know it's in Atlanta. I know, because it is in Atlanta. Yeah. It should have been a bigger, unity and a bigger kind of thing and feat. But again, they're making Super Bowl commercials. They're doing all kinds of things. I don't know. What's the greater good? I was a big football fan. Humongous football fan. I just don't watch it anymore. Yeah. At the end of the day, and people are like, well, what is that? I go, for me, it just gives me a peace of mind that I know that I'm like, there's just so many checks and balances that none of them balances out. You have guys out there that beat their women, that do all these things, that still have a job, but you have a gentleman who's just saying, hey, can we just have equal rights for people of color? Then it's a freaking problem. You have all kinds of things. There's like, well, people are always trying to argue he sucked as a football player. I go, I don't give a damn. Yeah. How many football players are sitting on the fucking bench?
That's true.
That suck. I'm just saying. But you're going to tell me because a man wants to put a light on anything? It doesn't matter. It's a problem. So basically, it's kind of like, let's teach him and I said, look, unless you unless you know what it's like to worry that there's a cop behind you. And getting pulled over, or you're in the store, somebody's following you because they're thinking you're stealing, or somebody you're walking by, somebody grabbing their purse. Unless you know or even have that, you have no understanding. Or unless every day you wake up hoping that somebody isn't killed on some bullshit.
Yeah, that's true.
Until you understand that, there's no way you could have compassion for that. The only time people ever have compassion for that is when it happens to them.
Yeah.
I mean, how many highway police, LA is infamous for high speed car races.
It was just in the news about police and how many times they stop black people.
And how many high speed chases and they're acting a fool, right? Do they shoot them down?
Yeah.
No.
That's true.
We're taking our tax dollars and chasing them and doing all these things. Whatever. That's all I'm saying. It's just one of those things that we should, as people of color, again, I won't be watching. Yeah. I know everybody's excited that LA. Sure. Would I let LA win? Like, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm tired of the Patriots. I'm sorry, y'all. Whoever's a fan, I'm tired of the Patriots. Okay.
Actually, it's kind of like, again, it's like another boring game. Yeah. At least the Rams, they're brand new.
Yeah,
fresh, they have it. Fresh as far as being in LA. Fresh. They did a hell of a job season playing. The only reason I know all of this is because people talking about it, not because I'm watching it. It's just one of those things. So,
well, that's perfect.
Yeah, But what else is there to say?
You're a mess, I swear to God. Well, lady, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, it has. Thank you. Yes, it has. Like we always say.
Doing our first live and everything and dealing with some hot topics. And it's only been a month in the new year.
Girl, bye.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I know, it's crazy.
Oh, my God. That's insane, but
time flies.
Yes. Now I'm gonna have to get on her because she still needs to get her stuff together and give me the info.
I know. Why are you telling everybody my business?
I'm just saying. When is that book coming?
It's coming. Okay, bye.
When is that skincare coming? Okay, we're gonna end it off on that, and we will see you guys again. Thanks for listening. Thanks for downloading. We appreciate you guys.
Bye. And then bye, you guys. Thanks for watching and being a part.
Cheers.
Oh, girl, turn right. Ching, ching. Thanks for listening. Take a little time to enjoy your brand of Moscato and tea with us every day. Subscribe, rate, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and MoscatoandTea.com.